Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR Today for December 30th, 2020. I'm the man they call Meathead, and we are only one day away from popping a bubbly at midnight, celebrating New Year's 2020, Jumanji Level 12, almost over. Joining me this morning is Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning, and we will learn if the groundhog sees his shadow. He comes out on New Year's Day, right? Isn't that when the groundhog comes out?
I'll have to call Bill Murray on that.
Oh.
You know, we just celebrated a very Murray Christmas, so I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, we'll check on that.
Well, let's check on our sponsors, our friends at manscaped.com. Want to make sure that you're silky smooth. Again, Matthew, I continue to apologize over and over. I feel bad that I scarred people thinking that you're hugging your grandma with hairy balls. So I want to make sure that everybody's getting silky smooth. Head on over to manscaped.com. Use the promo code PWR. Save yourself 20%. Free shipping. They've got all sorts of gimmicks over there. The Lawnmower 3.0, you've got the entire care package, replacing blades, all sorts of good stuff, and no tugging on the skin. You know, you get the ball powder, you get the bathroom bag, you get the boxers, all that good stuff at manscaped.com. Plus, collarandelbowbrand.com, our friends Uncle Al and the boys are selling the latest in t-shirt gimmicks for the winter. You can get yourself some fanny pack kid merchandise as well. Lots of good stuff over at collarandelbowbrand.com, and using the promo code PWR360 will save you 10%. Matthew, we're a day away. It's Wednesday morning. We are a day away from the end of the year, but we have bigger news than that. You would think that here we are talking about getting to the end of the year. By the way, folks, this will be the last PWR Today for the week. We have a very big announcement, and it's something coming up tonight. If you've been following us on our PWR Twitter handle, if you've been following us on Facebook, if you follow Damien at Damien Nelson, I've retweeted, Linda's retweeted. Matthew, I don't know if you've tweeted. I don't know if you have a Twitter, the real M Thomas at twitter.com.
If anybody remembers my password, if you can't tweet it to me, but you can write it in a letter and send it to me. That'd be much appreciated.
Is it 1234, like the code on your suitcase or your luggage?
It might be my social security number. Actually, let me grab my social security.
I think you missed that one. That was a Spaceballs reference. I think you missed that.
I've seen it. I've seen Spaceballs once, and I don't retain references after watching something
Gotcha.
Once there. So yeah.
What kind of idiot uses that as a password? Hey, that's the same as my luggage.
Although I did retain. I'll buy that for $1 after watching that once. So if it sticks with me, I'll hang on to it.
10-4. Well, we have a final ever episode of PWR Live Primetime tonight. Directly after AEW goes off the air, we ask you to join us on wherever you check us out on Fight TV, Facebook.com, YouTube Live. We will record this. It'll be a podcast. It'll be available later on. But Damien Nelson is going to be joining us. David Hero, I believe Linda Kay, you're going to be joining us. I'm going to be joining. We may have some names from the past joining as well. This will be the final episode. Now, PWR Today will continue in this format. I will continue on. Matthew will continue on. Linda will continue on. And we will have some upcoming announcements over the next, following weeks on how that's going to go. But as of right now, tonight, after AEW and NXT are off the air, we ask you to join us over at Fight TV, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you watch our live videos. And we've got a big show for you tonight. Matthew, your thoughts on the big show? I
think this is up there with the MASH finale or the Sopranos finale. I mean, this is a big one. This is a really, really big one. I'm a little bit concerned that we're going to get to the final here and we're going to realize that we're all figments of Damien's imagination living inside a little snow globe.
You know what this reminds me of? Remember when we left Google Hangouts and we were switching over to whatever it was and we were broadcasting live on an audio platform and a video platform at the same time? Yes. Like Blog Talk and Google Hangout?
Yes, I remember that. And I remember our final Google Hangouts episode, we had our guest destroy his bedroom, I believe.
Something like that. I think he was chasing around a varmint, or I don't know what was happening. I saw a fridge in the background. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember.
Oh, yes, indeed. But it's only a day away.
Kind of like Annie and the sun coming out.
Yes. I mean, is there going to be a musical number in the finale?
Ooh, that would be well done.
there very well might be. You know, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of rumor that it's
A
going
lot
that
of
direction.
insinuation, a lot of innuendo, a lot of implications.
Yeah, and I mean, what I'm liking here is, I know we traditionally do AEW NXT preview, but this sounds like we're actually previewing the PWR series finale here on this show, and
We
I'm
are,
kind
and
of
we're going to
enjoying
talk
it.
AEW for tonight as well. But I want to get that big news out there. I know that we had kind of been holding on to this for a few days. I know that it's been tweeted out there now by the PWR handle. So we've got news. It's coming. Watch the video. Join us live tonight, right after AEW goes off the air, which should be about 10 Eastern-ish, 10:15, something like that. Check us out on Fight TV, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live as well. Normally, we would now jump right over and start talking about NXT and AEW. I'm only going to talk about AEW. With the passing of Mr. Brodie Lee, Luke Harper from WWE, John Huber. First off, Matthew, what were you feeling? What was the initial reaction? Because I think I gave it to you too. I mean, I know I sent it to Linda, and that was her first hearing it. I assume that was the same with you when I sent that over to you. What were your thoughts? Put us in Sunday when you got it.
Shock. It's not something you're expecting, and you've had your shocking wrestling deaths that in retrospect you were shocked and very upset by, but when you stepped it back a little ways, you basically say, okay, maybe this is not completely outside of the question and completely unexpected. This one was. And just somebody just struck down in their absolute prime. And the thing with Brodie Lee that you don't have in 2020, that you really haven't had for the last 10, 15 years, you very rarely have people in the industry now that are believable professional wrestlers. And throughout his WWE tenure, throughout what we have seen thus far in AEW, this has been a guy who has protected his character unlike hardly any people. When you saw him on TV on a weekly basis, you felt like, my goodness, that is a badass. That is somebody that I would not want to meet in a dark alley, which it sounds like you probably would, based on all the wonderful things that everybody is saying about how wonderful this gentleman was. But my goodness, such a believable, intimidating professional wrestler that you believed what he did in the ring when he spoke. You believed it, and you don't have that in the business anymore. Just an absolute horrible loss and a shock and a surprise. And my goodness, just and I know it's limited. We've got what has been released by AEW and the family, but just it shows you how quick things can happen, and how quick and unexpected, and nothing's promised.
Nothing's promised. And that's kind of where I want to lead us to. AEW had I think it was like the New Year's Eve, night 1 and night 2 New Year's Eve celebration. I forget exactly what it was called. That's been pushed off a week. So tonight on AEW Dynamite, they've done what I think is the right thing, and they're going to make it a Brodie Lee celebration of life. Okay? And all the matches will involve a member, at least the ones they've announced so far, at least one member, if not a couple members, of the Dark Order. The Dark Order was pretty big. They had, I think it was 10 of them, because Brodie had all the Roman numerals on his tights.
Yeah.
But here's the matches that are currently announced. The Young Bucks and Colt Cabana, boom, will take on the team of Matt Hardy and Private Party. It's a Hardy Party. Eddie Kingston, the Butcher and the Blade, featuring Bunny, will take on the team of Lance Archer, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson. Don't call me Dick, Stu Grayson. Inner Circle, MJF, Santana, and Ortiz will take on the team of Hangman Adam Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds. In the women's division, Anna Jay and my print is bad. Is it Tia? Good God, give me a second here. Tia Senti, sorry, and I apologize for the mispronunciation. Will go head-to-head with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Penelope Ford. In a Brodie Lee dream match, Cody Rhodes, Orange Cassidy, and Dark Order's 10 will take on Team Taz. Now, all night long, we will have the champion, Chris Jericho, on commentary. How does this card look for you?
Well, in the story that I've heard, and I think that the dream match, can probably use a little bit of context based on what I've heard. This is the match that Brodie, that his son wanted to see happen, from what I heard, and that this was quintessentially, said, who would you like to see wrestle each other, and that's what the dream match is.
Fantastic.
So they're doing the right thing.
He's got a contract now too. Did you hear the news?
No, I did not.
Brodie Lee Jr. has a contract when he gets older, and AEW will bring him in.
Oh my goodness, yeah. They're doing the right thing, and I mean, this is, there's no need to forward any storylines or whatever you had planned for this show. They're absolutely doing the right thing, and I mean, there's, what can you do at this juncture other than try to
honor the man,
and come together in healing, and it sounds like that's what they're doing, and throughout all of this, Tony Khan, AEW's response has been nothing but the utmost professionalism and, by far and away doing the right thing. And that's what they're doing here.
I like the night. I like the way it looks. I want to make this clear, and I said it yesterday when we talked about it. I want to make this part clear. I don't think WWE's response pales in comparison. I think they did what they could as far as a business company.
Yeah.
I mentioned that on the Tuesday morning show yesterday with Linda. I love the under the radar, if you will, Brodie Lee tributes, especially at the end. Xavier Woods blew into his hand, yelled, yeah, did the clothesline, and then you had commentary from Byron Saxon yelling, yeah. I thought it was great. And, of course, the video on Raw Talk between it was Xavier, Kofi, and R-Truth was there, too. With Charlie Caruso talking about it. And you know what? I think they did what they could. I just want to make it sure that I want to make sure that everybody's aware. I'm not trashing them. There's been some people out there that think that WWE should have done more.
Yeah.
How much more can they?
And there, I mean, this is about I mean, I don't know what else you can expect from a company when the person is on the roster of the competition and you are a corporate entity as big as the WWE, them giving him the tribute they gave him and taking the governor off for the talent to do what they wanted to do it. Yep, to do what they wanted to in ring. And they're working within the confines of a company. This was, I think, this was them doing the utmost of what they could do within the parameters they had to work with. I don't see anything in the world wrong with it. Them kicking off the show, acknowledging, and you're going to use the, WWE moniker that he had. I mean, you're going to use that wrestling
and the picture from
name.
Them. Yeah.
Yep. And the picture from them. I mean, that's protocol here. And, I can hear some pushback if you hadn't had any, if you put restrictions on what the boys could do, if you put restrictions on that, apparently there seemed to be none of that. It was pretty much wide open, free reign all night. And in a lot of ways you can view that as meaning more than just, something cookie cutter, one and done. You had this recurring throughout the course of the night, which, I think it seemingly, meant more in that capacity. So no, I think WWE, did really everything within their capacity last night or 2 nights ago.
And of course we knew more about what happened with him after a day or so had passed, but the Chris Benoit thing, if you think about what happened on Monday Nitro, when that happened, so the Bret Hart, who wrestled? Oh, no, it was the Owen Hart, excuse me. Chris Benoit and Bret Hart had the match on Monday Nitro that night to honor Owen Hart. So they did what they could, but the Benoit thing was already past WCW. But when Owen had passed in '99 at Over the Edge, they sent Benoit right up to the top at the main event, and that was the way. They did what they could, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So, like I said, coming up this week, we're not going to be doing anything for Thursday or Friday morning. It's a holiday weekend, so give us a little slack here. But we will have more details tonight on the big show with Damian, Dave, Linda, myself, Matthew. Again, we have other guests hopefully showing up. We'll see how that all goes. We might have to shake out, some of the old. Let's see what. I almost said Marty Jannetty. Oh my god. Marty DeRosa, maybe he's out there.
Was he a show? Was he a host? Was Jannetty a host?
Jannetty was not a host. Marty DeRosa was. Let's see if Lee Hummel's available. Let's see if we can find. Maybe we can find some of the old PWR family from way back in. Is Kendra D. St. Aubin in the house? Can we find her? Can we get her on the program? Is not on the phone.
This was before my time. I know not who these people are. Maybe I'll get to meet. Maybe I'll get to make some new friends. Yay!
Yeah, there you go. Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get Matthew Thomas new friends.
That's exactly what we're going to try to do. Since I've never met can we do on-air introductions? Can we
absolutely
exchange pleasant? This will be fun.
Hey, I have a question for you too. Do you believe this is related to? I wasn't going to talk WWE today, but it's going to come up now. I know AEW had their special 2-week event starting tonight before this happened and going next week. And now WWE with the NXT show has been counter programming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that NXT counter programs and just
oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a really tough call, man.
Or do they lay out?
Oh, I feel like they're going to go through with what they had planned, and I don't.
I'm talking about in 2 weeks from now too, because remember they had planned on counter programming tonight and next week. With New Year's Evil is next week.
Yeah,
and that's so what they had.
Yeah, and so quintessentially, I mean, I know we're not necessarily looking past this week right now, but you would think basically there'd be a week delay, right, with AEW. So you'd have
push it out
a week in the rear. I mean, my gut says that sounds more deliberate and in bad taste than running with what they had tonight, as opposed, and I get it, and I don't view them running tonight necessarily as counter programming, but in 2 weeks I would look at it as counter programming. So I'm thinking they're going to go ahead with the cadence and the schedule they had this week and next week, and then just chalk it up in 2 weeks' time that AEW is going to most likely do a bigger number because of what they've been building to, and it's just one of those things that you have to work with.
Yeah. All right. I thought it was a legitimate question, because sadly, it seems that AEW is the one that's just programming whatever they want, and NXT/WWE seems to counter program. Oh, you know what? We've got a special theme night called New Year's Evil. Yeah, that's what we're bringing up.
And again, I mean, I think my thought process on this from the beginning has been the counter programming, not so much even to take viewers away, but to give the perception that AEW is equivalent to our feeder system. And I don't think that's the case. I think AEW is main roster competition for WWE versus this narrative that WWE is trying to put out there of, this is not main roster competition. This is NXT competition. I don't think that's working. And once we're able to, have people running, full size arenas and everything again, I think you're going to find the venues that AEW can run are going to look much more like what a Raw or SmackDown can run versus what AEW, has been able to pull or what they went after in their first initial touring schedule.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that's it for PWR today. It's, like I said, it's December 30th, 2020. No show tomorrow, but we've got a very big show tonight, live on Fight TV, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're getting it. PWR Live, the final episode. Damian, Dave, Linda, the man they call Meat, Matthew Thomas, and maybe some others. Make sure you're tuning in. For Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.